Or revising. Part of all. They gave it to us the day that and we can because it's.
Call this meeting to order. We'll start with the TNO. We'd like to have a resolution to open the TNO meeting. Moved by Councilor Spence. All those in favor? Pass. And like to say the importance of signing, everybody signed the present sheet. If not, we'll pass it back down if you did. Just like to caption la captation de la séance in YouTube, recording of the sitting in YouTube. Says here the caption de la séance in YouTube. Cette séance publique du Conseil est enregistrée et diffusée en direct sur le compte YouTube de la MRC de Pontiac at MRC Pontiac 920. L'enregistrement est également rendu disponible le jour suivant la séance sur le site web de la MRC de Pontiac. This public sitting of council is recorded and broadcast live on the MRC Pontiac YouTube account at MRC Pontiac 920. The recording is also made available the day after the sitting on the MRC Pontiac website. That's for information. Item number 3, déclaration d'utilisation de la langue de son choix, use of the language of your choice. Read out the statement here. Je rappelle l'importance pour les membres du Conseil régional et les autres participants à la séance de s'exprimer librement dans la langue de leur choix. Au besoin, il y aura la présence sur place d'une ressource de la MRC pour assurer une traduction. I'd like to reiterate the importance for regional council members and other participants in the sitting to express themselves freely in the language of their choice. If necessary, a resource of the MRC will be available to ensure translation. Item number 4, statement by the Warden, déclaration de la préfète. The pro-warden tonight. Nous sommes venus pour les gens du Pontiac pour les représenter au meilleur de nos capacités. Ils s'attendent à ce que nous menions nos réunions de manière professionnelle. J'écouterai très attentivement les débats et les discussions de cette réunion et si j'entends des paroles négatives ou des critiques à l'égard de quelqu'un d'autre, j'arrêterai la réunion et demanderai à cette personne de s'excuser. We are elected by the people of the Pontiac to represent them to the best of our ability. They expect us to conduct our meetings in a professional and business-like manner. I will be listening very carefully to the debate and discussion in this meeting, and if I hear any words of negativity or criticism of anyone else, I will stop the meeting and ask that person to apologize. Thank you. Okay, lecture et adoption de l'ordre du jour, reading and the adoption of the agenda. I'd like to have somebody to vote the resolution. Councillor Daniel. All those in favor? Pass. Declaration of interest or conflict, dénonciation d'erreur ou de conflit. Just like that. Is there anybody here at the table that has a conflict interest on this agenda? Nobody? Okay. Item number 7, adoption of the Procès-verbal, la dernière séance, adoption of the minutes of the last sitting. I'd like to have somebody to pass a resolution to accept the minutes. Councillor Armstrong, all those in favor? Pass. Item number 8, période de questions et déclarations, question period and statements. This is for the TNO territory. Nobody here has any questions? Okay, we'll go ahead. We'll just item number 9 under finance. 9.1, compte payé, accounts to be paid. Andrea Lafleur.
No. I think we want that. Okay. Yeah. D'abord, voici les résultats. Il n'y a pas grand changement depuis le mois passé. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de dépenses comme c'est-là. D'abord, juste rendu à 19 136,36 de dépenses. Imaginons les gros factures qui s'en viennent. On a acheté un camion, ça va venir. Il y a d'autres grosses dépenses à venir. On n'a pas beaucoup de payables non plus. Ce mois-ci, on a 849 et c'est tout indiqué. Sorry, if you go to the other document, il y a un document annexé compte payable, compte fournisseur. Et puis, on a un montant de 117 634,32 qu'on attendait de recevoir, puis on a reçu, j'ai montré le chèque à Jason aujourd'hui. D'abord, quand je vais encaisser ça, nos recevables vont être à zéro. D'abord, j'ai juste besoin d'une résolution pour payer the list of the accounts payable to be paid in the amount of $849.02.
If you would like to move, then we all approve the list of accounts to be paid. Councillor John Walston. All those in favor? Pass. Item number 10. Entente intermunicipale et Monsieur de Pontiac et municipalité de Mansfield et Pontefract entretien du chemin du gym kilomètre 18 au kilomètre 40. Intermunicipal agreement MRC Pontiac and Mansfield and Pontefract. Jim's Lake Road, kilometer 18 to kilometer 40. Sir Jason Dura.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Donc, bonsoir tout le monde. So this is a resolution for the intermunicipal agreement between Mansfield and the TNO, to be more precise. It's regarding the maintenance of the James Lake Road from kilometer 18 to kilometer 40. Donc, c'est une entente intermunicipale là, entre la municipalité de Mansfield et le TNO pour l'entretien du chemin du gym là, à partir du kilomètre 18 jusqu'au kilomètre 40. Just to precise that it's not in the resolution, but it could be added up in the official documents that the amount is for $12,000 and an extra $2,000 for calcium on certain hills. Donc, comme je dis, le montant là, qui est dans l'entente, c'est de $12,000 plus un autre 2,000 pour le dépendage de calcium sur les côtes. Resolution, please.
Who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Armstrong. All those in favor? Passed.
All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Item number 11, transport médical hospitalier, territoire isolé, medical transport service, isolated territories, paramedic. Julien Gagnon.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Donc, cette résolution vise à exprimer la vive préoccupation de la MRC concernant la fin annoncée du service et des portées d'Aéromédic. So this resolution is intended to express the MRC Pontiac's serious concern regarding the announced end of paramedic services, for which the TNO is a contract holder. Since 2021, the agreement has provided important additional protection while using this remote area, and the loss of service raises real concerns about safety, accessibility, and continued emergency response in isolated areas. So with this resolution, the MRC is asking the government of Quebec to put in place an equivalent complementary service adapted to the realities of remote areas, so there's no gap in service. The MRC is asking the government to quickly confirm both the transitional and long-term arrangements that will apply in order to reassure our users, leaseholders, partners, and all municipalities involved.
Any questions? Who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Seer, all those in favor? Passed. Item number 12, adoption du règlement sur la récupération des coûts de sauvetage non résidents au TNO Lac-Nigo. Adoption of the bylaw on recovery of costs for non-urgent rescues, TNO Lac-Nigo. Julien Gagnon.
Yes, this resolution, donc cette résolution, c'est concernant un règlement. La motion a été donnée au mois de janvier concernant la récupération des sommes. So this resolution, there was a notice of motion given at our January meeting. which would allow the MRC to recover costs from users who call upon emergency services in non-emergent situations. The recommendation follows a legal opinion that we've had for these non-urgent rescue callouts. The purpose, of course, is not to charge for life-threatening emergencies, but rather to establish clear framework for non-emergent situations. Our rescue services have sometimes turned into CAA of the forest, and we don't like that situation happening. This bylaw in place would at least give us the opportunity to recover some of the costs, like any other company could, for providing that service to a resident. I want it to be clear, the bylaw would only charge residents if they call for a vehicle in the ditch or something in isolated areas where they call upon emergency services. It is strictly for non-life-threatening or injury-related services. Resolution for the bylaw.
Okay, who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Doris Raji. All those in favor? Thank you. Under item 13, diverse, miscellaneous, nothing there. Item number 14, second question period, deuxième question et déclaration, nobody here for that. Item 15, I'd like to have somebody move to close this meeting. Councillor Gagnon, all those in favor? Okay, now we're gonna open the regular council meeting, public council meeting. And who would like to move to open the meeting? Councillor Sandra Armstrong, all those in favor? Item number 2, basically same thing what I read out there earlier. Same thing for item number 3. And item number 4. Item number 5, lecture, adoption de l'ordre du jour, reading and adoption of the agenda. Like somebody to move to accept the agenda as is. Councillor McCleary, all those in favor? Dénonciation d'intérêt ou de conflit, declaration of interest or conflict. If anybody has any declaration of interest or conflict on the present agenda. Nobody? Item number 7, adoption du procès verbal de la dernière séance ordinaire, adoption of the minutes of the last regular council sitting. Like that's on the move to accept those minutes. Councillor Armstrong, all those in favor? Pass. Item number 8, rapport Conseil Jeunesse report, youth council. We know the report tonight. Item number 9, we will under it.
Another report, but it's something that I wanted to mention on behalf of the youth council. And it's just to mention that there is a youth forum that will be held at the RA Center on the 27th of March from 8 AM till 1 PM. There's an invitation for parents, for community organizations, for students, and it's for high school aged kids, 12 to 17 years old. It's to hear from them and from adults, community organizations, parents on the les enjeux auxquels ils font face, so on the for difficulties or challenges that children are faced with in the Pontiac specifically, and how we can help for their for them to be, motivated to continue school, to do well in their lives and for the future. So this is on March 22nd again at the Centre Communautaire, the RA Center in Campbell's Bay on 2 Street from 8 AM to 1 PM. And if you would like to register ahead of time, you can reach out to us at the MRC.
Anybody have any questions about that information? Or go to item number 10. Announcement events, so if anybody wanna advertise some of the things going on in your municipality, we can go ahead, Andy, if you wanna start.
The only thing I'll say is our residents, the air draw is at the end, last Friday of the month. That's it, so drive yesterday.
Mr. Zacharias,
We've had a lot of activities related to the 150 and other things going on. The next big event's coming up June 20th, when we have the RCMP ride in Otter Lake.
John Louis, and Paul,
No, nothing on Dylan this month.
Golden Rain.
We've had registration for our NDMA summer program, which begins this summer, obviously at the beginning of July and runs until August, mid-August, open to any resident in our area. So we're just getting ready for that burst of energy in our community.
Councilor Evans.
Sure, the small governance update from Waltham Council recently approved a 3-month trial to open our working sessions to the public. And we started that this week, the first working session open. So, so far so good.
Councilor Squiddy, Aileen Haywood.
Yeah, so Aileen Haywood, our next 150th celebration event is on March 28th. It's an Easter pancake breakfast and Easter egg hunt. We will also draw the March's 50/50 ticket that day, if anyone's interested in purchasing some. Mayor McCleary was the lucky winner of the February draw. So, yeah. For April, we have CD Saturday on April 18th from 9:30 to 11:30. All events are held at the Danforth Community Center. Thank you everyone for your continued support from our 50/50 draws. It's greatly appreciated. And maybe Mayor Spence will be working.
I'll help flag.
Will do.
Councilor Murphy, Fort Irish Forum.
Nothing for that for this one.
Mr. Murdoch.
There's a marché de printemps qui est fort, so Easter and spring event at the high school. So that's at 2:50 membership in Mansfield. There will be donations for like animal, frontière, and there will be canteens, pizza, there'll be tables to rent. So the event is on Facebook and it will be Saturday, March 28th from 9 to 2 o'clock.
Councilor McCleary from Shawville.
Figure skating review is tomorrow night. The kids look forward to that every year and it draws a very large crowd. I believe it starts at 6 o'clock. There's a hockey tournament starting next week, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, which will wind up our arena season. The Ag Society Bingo, which is the first Wednesday of every month, maybe I'm taking that from Mavis, I don't know. And they're going to do a community bonds deal this year, early, because we shut down most of the winter, it's been going now for about 3 weeks. Thanks partly to a grant that they got from here for their equipment. And it's from April 9th to 12th, and they're probably looking for a few teams. It's a condensed version, only through 1 weekend. If anybody's interested in curling, let me know, or Caleb. We'll give it to Caleb, he likes that. Right there.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Spence, it is Alimet.
The events, yes, so spring is coming and the community coordinator along with Naomi Jim is recruiting for soccer volunteers, so people who come out and help corral the young ones when they play soccer, so if you know anybody, greatly appreciated. And also there's lots of new goodies going in at the Chapel Farmers Market, so if you happen to come to the Chapel on Thursday evening, Friday, or all day Saturday, come stop by on the great stuff.
Thank you. Councilor Seer for Cologne.
For Cologne, le café downtown, le café is closed, le café est fermé.
So there's some member of the communities, they wanna start it back like as a co-op. So the next meeting is at the Âge d'Or, Club de l'Âge d'Or, it's on Monday at 7 o'clock, next Monday, March 23rd. So Club de l'Âge d'Or, le 23 mars, pour ceux qui sont intéressés pour être membres, ils vont pas partir le café dans le classe. Vous pouvez être de l'extérieur, mais faire tout le monde.
Councillor Wilson from Vitalisation.
Le club d'âge d'or continue à avoir plusieurs activités pendant la semaine. Donc, pour ceux qui sont intéressés, ils peuvent appeler un des membres là, pour aussi participer. So the Golden Age Club, they're always welcoming new people. They have lots of activities going on. So if there's anybody in town or even out of town who wants to participate in bingos or exercise or other things, paint nights, they're welcome to join.
Thank you. Councillor Lavier, Leachfield.
Our online draws are continuing, so we've had a few winners, $1,000 e-transfers and so on and so forth, and all the proceeds are going towards our 180 celebration. So yeah, check the Facebook page.
Thank you. Councillor Hannah? Or nothing? Councillor Ranji?
Yeah, I do have a little something I remember. The Sheenboro Murray Dancing Group have started up again on Tuesday evenings. And it's at Harrington Community Center, which is funded through the seniors program. And everyone is welcome. Come on. Yeah, we have a good teacher.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Item number 11, levy fund fundraiser, the Centre. So just a reminder, on April 1st, breakfast at the RE Hall in Campbell Bay put on by the MRC. To raise funds for the Centre. So it starts at 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning, and you can buy tickets online. You're looking to buy tickets. Okay, item number 12, rapport d'activité de la trésorière, élection 2025, activity report of the treasurer 2025 election. Quel message?
C'est un point d'information pour le rapport d'activité du trésorière. Just an activity report for the treasurer for the 2025 elections. In accordance with Elections Quebec's requirements, filing of the treasurer's activity report for the 2025 elections. Then the objective is to keep the municipal council and public informed of activities related to chapter 13, particularly with regards to public funding. So this is an information point, but we have filed it.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Item number 13, question period, and statement, période de questions, declaration, there's nobody here tonight. In the public. Under item number 14, administration générale, general administration, 14.1, vente de taxes, sales for tax.
Une résolution pour une vente pour taxe pour Campbell's Bay pour la signature chez la notaire. So resolution for sales for tax property in Campbell's Bay, and to authorize myself and my director general to sign at the notaries at the Maître for the property.
Who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Sandra Armstrong, all those in favor? 14.1.2, vente de taxe for sale for tax Bristol.
Une autre résolution, cette fois-ci c'est pour une vente pour taxe dans la municipalité de Bristol pour me donner la permission de signer chez la notaire. Sales for tax again, this time for the municipality of Bristol, and it's again to allow myself and or UGA Terry to sign at the notaries, and this time it's my Adriana Scott.
Okay. John Louis, all those in favor? Item 14.2, entente sectorielle de développement en concertation régionale dans la région de l'Outaouais 2026 to 2029. Sectoral agreement of regional coordinated development in the Outaouais region 2026-2029. Resolution, Kim Lesage.
C'est une entente sectorielle, ceci c'est pour des fonds du ministère des Affaires municipales, pour le FRR1, une entente en développement et en concertation régionale dans l'Outaouais. So this is to have a resolution so that we can have a sectorial agreement. This is for funding from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs for the 2026-2029 year of the FRR1 grant. So sectoral agreement on regional coordinated development in the Outaouais region. And our financial participation is to the order of $11,250 per year for 3 years, so a total of $33,750 for a total sectorial agreement and total funding of $1,125,000.
Doris. All those in favor? Passed. Item 14.3, évaluation, équilibration du rôle d'évaluation, assessment, equilibration of the assessment role. Resolution, Kim Lesage.
Une résolution importante pour le département d'évaluation puis nos municipalités. So this is a resolution for our assessment department, for our municipalities as well, and it's for the equilibration of the assessment role. Considering that there's recommendations from our FQM appraiser to go ahead with the equilibration of the assessment for the next 3-year cycle, 2027, 28, 29 for the municipalities of Shawville, Clarendon, Idra-Calumet, Bristol, and Mansfield. And that is because the recommendations is based on observations of significant discrepancies between levels of values and that we're seeing for selling prices in those municipalities. And that the work carried out within the framework of equilibration will allow recovery of the values on the roll and promote the maintenance of tax fairness across those municipalities. So we need a resolution to process.
Councillor Follen Graham, all those in favor? Pass. Item 14.4. Demande de modification du guide TEC 2024-2028 concernant le rechargement granulaire. Request to amend the TEC 2024-2028 guide regarding granular recharging. Resolution, Kim Lesage.
Le Conseil des maires propose d'avoir un appui pour une résolution que plusieurs municipalités ont adoptée concernant les nouvelles modalités du TEC pour 2024-2029. Et ça, c'est en ce qui touche le volet 4 pour la voirie locale et c'est pour concernant le rechargement granulaire. So this is the Council of Mayors asked that we support resolutions that were adopted in certain municipalities of the Pontiac, and it's with regards to the new guidelines for the TEC program, so the money that we get back from the government for different priorities. Some of them are water infrastructures, but priority 4 is the road. One of the priority 4s is the road networks, and what was changed from the previous guidelines was that you were allowed to use your TEC money for granular resurfacing using MG20, but there was no specifications as to how thick this was. The new page 21 of the new guide indicates that it's minimum 300 millimeters of granular MG20 material. So this is a concern to many municipalities who don't typically recharge at 300 millimeters, so a foot of granular material. I understand that it's a requirement or standard for MTQ and DMT for a roadway, however, not necessarily for resurfacing. So I spoke to the Mamash, somebody at the Mamash asked me about it, and it's not only a concern here. I want to know that they've received hundreds of resolutions to do with that subject. And right now it's moved up to the authorities at the Mamash. So for now, the municipalities must follow the guide that's in place. But I still, am happy that we will be passing this resolution and joining hundreds of municipalities across Quebec to do so.
Moved by Councillor Donald Gagnon, all those in favor? Item 14.5, transport collectif, public transit, 14.5.1, transport action, PADTC 2025-2027, transport action, PADTC 2025-2027, résolution, Kim Lassane.
Ceci est une résolution pour adopter, c'est pour la subvention, le PADTC 2025-2027, c'est pour un des volets pour lequel le transport action va soumettre une demande de financement. C'est pour approuver le plan triennal, le plan de développement du transport collectif 2025-2027 et des intentions de transport action quant au réinvestissement. So this is a resolution for the transportation program, which is the PADTC 25-27. It's for collective transportation, and this is for Transport Action to be able to apply for their funding. So they speak about their users in the past and in the past few years and their predicted users expenditures. And we have to approve by resolution the public transport development plan and our intentions regarding the reinvestment of any accumulated surplus and which also includes average number of spaces and kilometers traveled. So we need the resolution to apply for this for the Ministry of Transportation.
Okay, who would like to move this? Councillor Ralston, all those in favor? 14.5.2, entente intermunicipale MIC de Pontiac, MIC des Collines de l'Outaouais, transport de personnes, intermunicipal agreement, MRC Pontiac and MRC des Collines de l'Outaouais, passenger transportation, résolution, Kim Lesage.
Ceci est une résolution pour avoir un entente intermunicipale entre la MRC des Collines puis le MRC du Pontiac pour le transport des personnes. La seule différence, c'est qu'avant, c'était avec une régie. Puis maintenant, la régie a été absorbée par la MRC des Collines. Fait que c'est la même entente qu'on avait, par exemple, pour la ligne 910, pour l'autobus qui s'en va en ville, puis qui revient. Mais au lieu de notre entente intermunicipale avec la régie des collines, ça va être avec la MRC. So this is an intermunicipal agreement with MRC des Collines and the MRC, between MRC des Collines and MRC Pontiac for the transportation service that we have. So bus line 910 goes from here to the city and back. The only change is that since 2010, I believe, or 2016, it was with the board of Conseil, and in 2025, the MRC des Collines absorbed. The board is no longer a board, so now des Collines that takes care of that service. So the service doesn't change, but it's the intermunicipal agreement that must be with des Collines instead of with Conseil board. I need a resolution.
Who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Seer. All those in favor? Item 14.5.3, FFR quantification. Intermunicipal MRC de Pontiac, MRC de Collines, de l'Outaouais, fourniture de services de transport. FFR for enhancement, intermunicipal agreement, Pontiac MRC, Collines de l'Outaouais, transportation services. Resolution, Kim Lassalle.
Cette résolution pour le FRR4, c'est pour avec le ministère des Affaires municipales pour des projets intermunicipaux. Alors, c'est pour appliquer pour notre fourniture de services. C'est un différent fonds comparé à ce qu'on avait planifié. On n'est plus éligible pour le fonds du ministère des Transports. Alors, on va faire le même plan, mais avec le FRR4. So this is a resolution that we had planned. Already reserved some funding for a funding program with the Ministry of Transportation, PADTC, just like we have with Gulf Excel. However, for the transportation services that we had planned were no longer eligible with the MRC des Collines to apply for. So instead, we're applying for the FR cap. So that's the intermunicipal programs with the Minister of Municipal Affairs. So we need to adopt a resolution to be able to apply for that money.
And who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Armstrong, all those in favor? Item 14.5.4, demande de financement, Abribus, Carrefour de Transport, application for funding, transportation hub, bus shelter, resolution, Kim Lesage.
And this one, I apologize, I wanted to mention it at the beginning of the meeting when we were adopting the agenda, but I'm going to skip this resolution for this month because we might not need it.
Okay, so we'll cancel that resolution for now.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Under item 14.6.1, MRC committees, composition and membership. Resolution, Jason Durand.
Jason est absent, c'est une résolution pour le comité de foresterie, so this is a resolution for the forestry committee. So the members that we've discussed and are proposing are non-elected, so Martin Boucher, Pachalard, Frank Doyle, Yvon Mignot, and Régent Dugas. And then the members of council that are recommended are Roger Lafont, Ed Walsh, Kevin Murphy, Colin Larvier, Doris Rangi, Sandra Armstrong, and Bill McCleary. And we need a resolution for that to be in effect.
Councillor Murphy, all those in favor? 14.6.2, Comité Énergie Renouvelable, Renewable Energy Committee. Resolution, Kim Lesage.
Donc, résolution pour un comité, ceci est pour les membres, pour le comité d'énergie renouvelable, les membres du conseil. So another committee to adopt some new mayors for the Renewable Energy Committee. And we have recommended original councillors Edward Walsh, Colleen Larvier, Joanne Ralston, Bill McCleary, and Pierre C. as voting members of the committee. And this committee is responsible for various energy development options within the MRC's territory.
Is there a resolution, who would like to move this resolution for this committee? Councillor Donald Daniel, all those in favor? Okay. Okay, I just want to recognize also that Kelsey Bailey is online from representing the Rapid de Joachim municipality. So I forgot to mention that at the beginning.
Mayor Neely, and I apologize that we were having some little technical difficulties on our end to accept you into the meeting. So you can hear us okay?
Yeah, kind of. It's a little low, but I can understand what's going on.
We'll keep that in mind.
Okay, thank you.
Item 14.6.3, Comité d'Analyse FRR Analysis Committee, Resolution, Terry Lafleur.
Yeah. I got a intro.
I'm taking a break.
Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir, tout le monde. So, we had a committee meeting, I believe it was February 26th, to spend the remaining dollars that were in the FRR Vitalisation Fund 2021-2025. So let me just make sure I got the right one here. Yeah, sorry, I'm creating a new committee here, sorry. We got 17 points to talk about, I'm gonna get the first one wrong. So we are creating a new FR funding agreement committee, of council and mayor's willingness to pursue calls for projects. It's a requirement to form an analysis committee to make recommendations for funding following launches, and closures, of public projects. So for this purpose, we are amalgamating the previous FRR2 analysis committee and the FR4 Vitalisation Analysis Committee into one committee. Okay, we'll be passing yours as well. So the singular mandate will be to review and give recommendations to council mayors in regard to submissions received through a public call for tenders for projects for funding. So it is proposed to create this committee with 6 mayors. Mayor Jennifer Quayle from Otter Lake, and Mayor Sidney Squiddy from Ealing and Haywood, Mayor Pierre Sia from Port Blanche, Mayoress Sandra Armstrong from Mansfield Pontefract, Mayor Doris Ranger from Chambers, and Mayor Valerie Tulin Graham from Bristol. There'll be a designated representative from the Carrefour Jeunesse Foncière. We have a member of a resident member, Louise Guérini from Ile du Grand Calumet, and Stéphane Levin, Director of the Caisse des Jardins de Rivière du Foncière. So we'll need a resolution for that.
Councillor Ralston, all those in favor?
Thank you.
Item 14.6.4, Comité Consultatif Agricole, Agricultural Advisory Committee, Resolution, Terry Leffler.
This is brought back to the table from the previous month. So we are required, MRC is required under the LAU, Article 148.1 de la loi sur l'aménagement et l'urbanisme de notre territoire, to have a committee, the Comité Consultatif Agricole, so an agricultural consultative committee. The committee consists of municipal representatives, agricultural producers, local residents, reviews draft planning bylaws, amendments, development proposals affecting agricultural areas, and provides recommendations to council to help maintain harmonious coexistence between agricultural and non-agricultural uses. Also, its recommendations are not binding. The councils are legally required to consult the CCA before adopting any planning instrument that could impact agricultural zones. This is why we need to have this committee. So we had already agreed, I believe, to have members of the committee. So David Gillespie, agricultural producer, Scott Judd, agricultural producer, Gemma Villa Vicencio, sorry about that if I pronounced that properly, agricultural producer, Marjorie Guru Teddy, municipal employee, and merci à Monsieur le Maire Jean-Louis Corriveau, member of council that will be on this committee as well. And we still need a resident person. So if you know anybody who wants to join a CCA committee, give me a call. So we need a resolution to adopt this.
Who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Poland, Poland Graham, all those in favor? Okay, item number 15, rapport de committee reports. Committee IH, HR committee. 15.1.1, politique personnel cadre, management staff policy, resolution, Corey Spence.
Yeah, so just an update on the HR committee, we have 2 resolutions. So first is the management policy that everyone's aware of, been working on for a while, and finally come to it all finished. So just a quick rundown on what was done for the public is that there was some capping of sick days, there was some clarification on how vacation rules were done, clarifying COLA calculations, and some various things like that. So yeah, it's all good. So according to this resolution, so I read it.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we're at council members there, MC Cognac adopt the policy and working conditions of managerial staff by resolution. 2024-1907, whereas the policy states that it must be continued annually, whereas the policy has not been reviewed since September 2024, whereas council mayors wish to make amendments to the policy in particular, so that managerial staff are considered as salaried employees. It is proposed by myself and hopefully resolved to accept the amendments, make policy concerning the working conditions for mandatory staff. Okay, so just one more word. I'd like to say congratulations to the HR staff and a big thank you to the mandatory staff who worked with us throughout this process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moved by correspondence. Who would like to, sorry, all those in favor? Thank you. Pass. 15.1.2, revision politique, RF, policy revision, HR, resolution, correspondence.
Yeah, so this resolution is concerning politique télétravail that was first introduced back in 2022. This was done based on the times, and now over the realities then. Now we're talking about the realities today. So we'd like to see promotion of a great culture, great culture that is the MRC workplace, and it's a fantastic place to work. So some team collaboration and some further some team collaboration. So here we go. Here's the unofficial translation. The council mayors adopt the MRC Cognac Color Policy by Resolution CM 2022-1205. Article 3 in the public policy states that the employer may terminate policy at any time by giving 5 working days notice. The council mayors affects employees return to the workplace, promote team cohesion, sense of belonging, motivation, and availability. It is proposed by myself and resolved to extend the current public policy adopted by elected representatives in 2022. There's further resolved that return to in-person work for employees to the MRC Cognac shall take effect on April 27th of 26.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Spence. All those in favor? Against? Good, pass. Thank you very much. 15.2, Comité de Vitalisation FFI 4, rencontre du 26 février, Vitalisation Committee FFR 4, February 26th meeting. Just for information, Terry left first.
Got a resolution here.
Okay, recommendation of financing for FFR 4.
Yeah, so it's a committee update and I guess resolution. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. So where I started last time, I'm back. So we did have a vitalization FR4 committee meeting to spend the remaining dollars that were in the 2021-2025 or 4 FR funding. We had several meetings on this and we had a lot of proposals that came in actually. And the recommendation that came from the committee. Okay, so following extensive and subsequent analysis of the projects received for consideration by the Vitalisation Committee is proposing the following projects for financing under FR for Vitalisation. So one, municipality of Otter Lake, total project cost is 67,284. Grant amount is 57,929. Maison de la Famille, municipality of Otter Lake was to purchase equipment for protection, management and control of Eurasian milfoil in their lakes. Especially, I believe, Mayor Quayle said they'd be starting with farming.
Start there.
So Maison de la Famille for construction of a new porch with reduced mobility clients. So total project cost is 32,943 and grant amount of $27,271. I'm going to guess there's a little bit of a typo there. We'll fix it. Municipality of Eland and Kaywood, enhancing community access and participation at the Danford Lake Community Center. So total project cost of 33,342. Grant amount of 27,402. And municipality of Portage ensuring safe access and continuous community participation at the Portage Zufal Community Center. Total project cost was 20,528. Grant amount is $18,746. But we need a resolution to be able to appoint those.
Who like to move the resolution for the recommendations? Councillor Murdoch? All those in favor? Against?
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. 15.3, Comité de sécurité incendie, CSI rencontre du 10 mars, Fire Safety Committee, March 10th meeting, information.
Yeah.
Again, there is a resolution for this, you want me to read that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Donc, le comité sécurité incendie, comité CSI, s'est rencontré le 10 mars 2026. The Fire Safety Committee, otherwise known sometimes as the CSI Committee, met on March 10th. Reviewed, as we normally do, the most recent fire statistics, the number of calls handled by fire services. The committee then continued work on proposed regional intermunicipal mutual aid agreement. The committee also received an update on the work of the Transition and Analysis Committee, along with a presentation on the next steps related to the adoption and implementation of the new fire safety cover plan. 2 recommendations were adopted to clarify mutual aid agreement in the capacities of certain firefighters responding under mutual aid agreements, and that municipalities should update the availability tables of their available firefighters going forward. So the resolution that was passed, or the recommendation, sorry, to come to this table, is that the council adopts the final version of the 2026 fire safety cover plan of the MRC Pontiac, including its implementation plan. Under the Fire Safety Act, the MRC is required to revise this document on a regular basis. The last version, which was adopted in 2017. The revised plan was prepared in collaboration with the municipalities of the MRC and its local fire departments. Adopting this final draft will allow it to now officially be deposited at the Ministry of Public Security in order to obtain its attestation of compliance, while also authorizing the DG and myself to complete any necessary administrative steps to send it to the ministry. Resolution, please.
Like to move the resolution. Councillor Cleary, all those in favor? Against? 15.4, Comité de transition et analyse SSI rencontre du 24 février, Transition Analysis Committee, February 24th meeting, information, Julien Gagnon.
Yeah, so this, as I mentioned earlier, that prior to the CSI committee, there's a committee we call Transition and Analysis Committee that had its first meeting. This is a fire department analysis committee for the region. On February 24th, the committee met to officially begin its review of possibilities going forward in fire protection services. Discussions focused on the historical context, legal obligations, and main challenges, including rising costs, limited availability of firefighters, and so on. Members identified the elements that should be preserved in any potential local involvement, local reorganization, such as maintaining service levels, ensuring firefighter and public safety, and preserving local involvement, with also maintaining decision-making autonomy of the municipalities. The meeting helped identify main priorities and further analysis, including service organization, financial scenarios, and opportunities to reduce duplication going forward. The committee's next steps will be to prepare a strategic plan, organizational concept, and a range of various financial scenarios to move forward.
Perfect. Any questions? Okay, thank you, Julien. Under finance, 16.1, rapport financier, financial reports, resolution of Andrea Lafleur.
So we had quite a few payments this month. And you're gonna see I made a change in the Journal des Chèques. I noticed last month that we were mostly showing just the one primary bank account on there. Now we have several different bank accounts because of all the different FRR bonds. We've opened different accounts. So what I've done is I've separated it on there so you can see what's coming out of the primary, what's FRR2, what's FRR3, what's FRR4 right now. So, and then there's total at the end, so you can see without us having to put a little note at the side, if it's coming out in an FR2 account, well, it's an FR2 grant, FR3, FR4. So you'll see it's just a little bit different than it was before. But at the end, you're gonna get your grand total of $508,000, which is what was paid. Some of those, I noticed at the meeting last month when I was sitting here, I didn't see the municipality shovels $40,000 check. That's because that came out of the Vela 4, which is a different bank account. So when we run the report, it only runs the one bank account number. So now I'm running a report for each bank account number, and then it's all included there. And I tried to make it as clear as possible. I did put in some notes as well. And you'll see now that there's not quite as many notes about FRR because most of the FRR is actually coming out of an FRR bank account. So in the original account, there's a few because they're the older ones. The municipality of Port Colonge, there was $63,000 for a FRR2 having to do with a toilet installé. Yeah. And then we have an SHQ payment for a pad. It was for adaptation of a home, so we don't put the names of the people there. And we had $46,441 paid to Groupe Boisvert Construction. They're working at the abattoir on finalizing some work. That's the boutique. The boutique. And then Communagir, that was for the matter. And then Volet 2, well, I didn't put FR2 beside it because it's all indicated under Volet 2. And then you'll see the same for Volet 4. And then I've Denise did this in the past too, separated the virements. So some people are paid by check, some people are paid online. So that's all separated there and then all added together to come to the 508-880-47, which will be part of my resolution that I'm gonna need tonight. And then also I have included on ID side, as usual, the list of payables. The payables are $299,904.89. The biggest part of those payables is we have the PADF, which is the Programme d'Aménagement Durable des Forêts. And it's managed at the MRC level. And was it once a year, Kim, that we give them funding over that? I'm not sure how that works. But we give funding, the funding comes to us, but then it gets divided. So the majority of that $299,000 is, we have 540 going to MRC de Papineau, 137,702 going to MRC de La Gatineau, 5198.95 going to MRC de Colline, and the Ville de Gatineau for 26,230.78. So that's what makes up the biggest part of those expenses. And then I've included the receivables. A lot of the receivables have to do with like grants that we've given out, the plea, the FLS, the POEM. Then there's a lot of the municipalities have paid their shares. We still have some people that are haven't paid their shares yet, but it's not due as of yet. There is an amount there of 149, 139.34 outstanding, but that will be clearing. That was a GST and QST that is coming in. And then I'm not sure, I have to look into the 129.58 has to do with the label. The état de résultat, there's still some journal entries that need to be made. So I'm hoping in April we can have our first budget meeting and go over the first quarter. Try to get as much accomplished as I can before that. So right now, I mean, it's hard to judge. I mean, a lot of the revenues are not in. Our expenses, well, they're starting to come in. But like our total expenses is $1,236,000 on a budget of $11,104,000. But in revenues, we only have $2,211,000 out of $10,702,000. So it's through the year. But everything is good. So I need a resolution. J'ai besoin de résolution. Pour payer un montant de 299 $99,904,89 de la liste des comptes à payer de la MRC et le montant de 508,880,47 sous de la liste des comptes payés. J'ai aussi besoin d'une résolution pour le montant payé pour le voyagement au mois de février pour les maires au montant de 1 803,20 sous.
Would like to move this resolution? Councillor Murdoch, all those in favor? Against? Thank you. Gestion du territoire, management of territory, 17.1. Let's see, 17.1 environnement, environment. 17.1.1, entente sectorielle sur l'évaluation de la gestion durable de l'eau en Outaouais. Sectorial agreement on water assessment and sustainable management in the Outaouais region. Resolution, Kim Lesage.
Ça, c'est pour monter notre intérêt pour avoir une entente sectorielle sur l'évaluation et la gestion durable de l'eau souterraine en Outaouais. So this is a resolution to have that we would be supporting to have a sectorial agreement on which is for the government orientations, les OGAT, and this would be to the English version here. To have some hydrogeological data, and it's for our planning, for availability, quality, also vulnerability of our water resources. So this would be for an agreement, an entente sectorielle, and this is with FR1. So it's to support that with the other MRCs, rural MRCs, that we know.
Who would like to move this resolution? Councillor Armstrong, all those in favor? Opposed? Passes.
No.
Item 17.2, prolongation contractuelle urbaniste. Madame Hélène Doyon, contract extension, urban planner. Miss Hélène Doyon, resolution, Kim Lesage.
C'est une résolution pour le contrat qu'on a avec une urbaniste, Madame Hélène Doyon. C'est pour son contrat qu'on a avec elle, en lien avec notre révision du schéma d'aménagement. So this is with our land use management plan. It's a resolution for an extension to the contract we have right now with the urbanist, Madame Hélène Doyon. So as part of this provision, it's for to continue with our initial draft revision, incorporating the new government guidelines for land use planning. So what we refer to in French, les OGAT, les orientations gouvernementales, and considering the expertise and the knowledge that Mrs. Doyon has and has helped us in the past few years. This would be to extend her contract, and it's $185 per hour for a maximum of 350 hours. So a potential maximum amount of $64,750. This is the expenses are covered by the funds granted to the MRC by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs as part of the program they have to support the implementation of the orientations of the OGATs in the land use management plans throughout Quebec.
Gives me a resolution to Councillor Larvier, all those in favor?
I have a question.
Sorry.
With regards to this, will she finish the first draft? After this?
Yes. Go back to my notes in my head here.
Any other questions?
We will be, not she.
Okay, sorry.
It is our plan.
Will it be first draft will finish?
I'll be able to submit it for the ministry.
So at that moment, will we be up to date or with the first draft?
With our timeline that we have, there's no, with the orientations that have been put in place and, that have been enforced, I guess, by the ministry, for all the all the MRCs across Quebec. There's some funding that goes with this, so everybody is reviewing their land use management plan. Just some MRCs are at different stages of this.
So ours is expected to be done by summer 2028.
Yes.
Okay. I'll remember that. Sorry.
Any other questions? Okay, moved by Councillor Larbier, all those in favor? Opposed? Passed. You. Item under 18, development economic development. 18.1.1. Demande de bourse, Joséphine Hatton au programme national Shad Canada. Scholarship request, Joséphine Hatton for the Shad Canada National Program. Resolution, Terry Lafleur.
That's me. Demande de bourse for Josephine. So we have a recommendation for a donation to be allocated an amount of $1,000 for it's a bursary, basically, to so contribution of $1,000 to support the participation of Josephine Atton, a student at Fundraising in the National Shad Canada program. So it's a recognized program in science, technology, entrepreneurship, and innovation. This support will help cover part of the participation fees and allow the young person from this region to proudly represent Pontiac at the national level. This contribution reflects the MRC's commitment to the development of potential youth in our community. So I was reading her application letter or her request letter to us, and she can't confirm it. I didn't have time to confirm it either, but it looks like she may be the first in the Pontiac that was invited to attend this Shad.
And if I could just add, she's receiving quite a bit of sponsorship from other like Shawville Lions, the Rotary Club. I'm sorry, Shawville Lions, the Rotary Club, and Municipality of Bristol have also given this an amount. So she's a pretty remarkable young woman who volunteers quite a bit in the community as well.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Resolution, please.
I read the letter that came with that, and there's no easy task to get accepted.
Oh, not at all, no.
So,
And she's planning on going to either John Abbott in science or directly into University of Ottawa. So it was a pretty impressive, we're very happy for her too. So she is also going to come back and speak to our Girl Guides in the fall time.
nice.
So I would like to bring that resolution forward.
Moved by Toles Graham, all those in favor? Opposed? 18.2. Abrogation de la résolution CM 2025-1225, repeal of resolution CM 2025-1225. Resolution, Terry Lafleur.
Yeah, so we need a resolution for an abrogation de la résolution CM 2025-1225. So this is to repeal that the resolution due to administrative technicalities. The MRC must repeal resolution CM 25-1225 and issue a new call for tenders. The process will be restarted in accordance with current requirements and presented next month for authorization. So resolution 26.
Would like to move the resolution, repeal a resolution. Councillor Zacharias, all those in favor?
I have a question.
Yes, sorry.
Share the technicalities?
Yeah.
Here. You care to share it there?
Yes, just what that tender was for, Terry.
The tender was.
So we're gonna go back and
Yeah,
tender.
the tender was to hire to hire a company to continue the inventory. Thank you. Of our heritage home.
Heritage.
Yeah. So we unfortunately, after reviewing the process that we went through, we found that we didn't follow our process properly, so we're repealing it and starting it to be fair. Yeah, an internal review process that we do.
Any other question? Moved by Councillor Zacharias, all those in favor? Yes. Good, thank you. Item 18.4, demande de financement pour entretien bâtiment, projet Champ Septic Chute Coulonge, request for financing for building maintenance, Coulonge Falls Septic Field Project, resolution, Terry LaFleur.
We jumped to
Oh,
Right.
did I miss something?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pedal back. Item 18.3, adoption de l'inventaire du patrimoine bâti en vertu de la loi sur le patrimoine culturel, PL 109. Adoption of the Built Heritage Inventory pursuant to the Cultural Heritage Act, PL 69. Resolution, Terry Leffler.
Yes, we need a resolution to actually adopt. So where's the Cultural Heritage Act, right? So we need to, as amended, provides local municipalities, the chance to establish and maintain inventory of heritage buildings located in their boundaries in order to document the heritage interests, guide planning and support planning and conservation decisions. So we do have, as you guys know, we started our inventory list. We triaged a whole bunch of heritage homes last year, which is, we just talked about the second phase that we're gonna do. So we are adopting our list from 2009, which you guys were all shown, which we have an agreement with the MCC, so the Ministry of Culture, that basically adopt this list and amend the list as we go forward with phase 2 of the inventory process. So I need a resolution to adopt this list, and what it's going to do changes nothing for anybody at the table, excuse me. What it will do will allow your municipalities to adopt your maintenance and maintaining operating bylaw that you're required to adopt in regards to the Heritage Cultural Act.
Question, when was this list, is there a deadline on this adoption of this?
Is there a same deadline as you guys have for adopting your maintenance and upkeep bylaw? Which is, I believe, end of April of this year, April 1st, but I think it's end of April.
So we needed this list to adopt for this. When did we start compiling the list?
This list that we have is from 2009. Okay, we've started compiling the list last year, a new list. So this list has about, if I remember correctly, 800 houses on it, different buildings on it, churches on it. The initial new list has 3,000. 2,800 in that ballpark. So what we're doing, and this has been discussed with the MCC the entire time, this list was never adopted by the MRC. So we're adopting this list, and the requirements that we have at the MRC are to adopt the list and modify the list as we go. So each municipality, what's happening with phase 2 is site visits are going to get done on the 3,000 that we now have. Yeah, so pictures taken, what is heritage considered, basically? Or has it been renovated completely over the years and it really shouldn't be on this list? So the initial list was done computer-wise, basically. So now we're going site visit. So as we go, we update the list. So we gave that list to all of your DGs, and some of them have already triaged it to say, this is gone, this is updated, this is, shouldn't be on here, already started that. Now with the site visits, hopefully by the end of fall of 2026, we'll be fairly well on our way. So by the end of the year, we're gonna compile this. Yeah, then after that will be phase 3, where that list that everybody now agrees on needs to be uploaded to the MCC, so that they have a certain software that they use, so we have to match to them. So everything gets input into them, and then it's a general update. I think it's an annual update that we do. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Councilor Seer?
Yeah, I'd like to know the bylaws that our cities that we need to have in place locally, where they ask, where that's sent to the DG?
several times. We've had a lot of discussions about this, yeah.
So I guess we'll talk because I've never heard about it. And the second question is, what's the goal of doing all this work? I mean, at the end of the day,
Unfortunately, we have to comply with the law, the amended act, right? So the ultimate goal is twofold. So we want to keep our heritage home sites in as good a shape as we can. At the same time, for the requirement for municipalities to have a maintenance and upkeep bylaw allows you to enforce it not only for these heritage homes, but also for all the homes in your municipality. The way it's written, now you have the choice, you can just build one for your heritage homes that are on the list. Or you can include all of them.
I'm just worried it might become a financial burden for people that have old homes and renovate.
So don't forget, so when we talk heritage, when they're on the list, it's really. It's outside, right? It's awnings, it's moldings, it's stuff like that. So there's nothing internal. And now, I don't know this for certain, but what we're being told is the way this works is once it's on the list, then you know, if you're applying for a grant, either municipal or at the regional level or at the provincial level, you need to be on the list. So that's sort of, you can't have one without the other, chicken and the egg. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Do insurance companies get this list at all?
Do they receive this list? Not from us, so I don't know. I've had several questions about this as well. I know, so when you're buying home, you go to a notary. It's declared on your new title deed that you're buying property in the agricultural zone. I don't know if they're going to include you're buying a designated or recognized heritage home. I don't know. Nobody's been able to answer that.
One of our property, our stone buildings at Little Chapel, their insurance went up $20,000 to $20,000 because it's classified as a heritage.
Really?
And
It's ridiculous.
the DG contacted Lady Sabrina.
Yeah.
And she said there's supposed to be a clause in there that it's not forfeit on, so they're looking into it, but they got a bill for $20,000 for insurance.
20 years ago, I had an appraisal from them. They couldn't give you a value for it.
Yeah.
They couldn't build it again
Mhm.
for the money that you think they could. So cut stone and cut glass, decorative glass, and
Yeah.
amazing. Done with the wind fireplaces and fire. Lots, you know. Beautiful place.
Any other questions regarding this? Good, so who would like to move the resolution? Councillor Spence, all those in favor? Opposed? Good. Item 18.4, demande de financement pour entretien de bâtiment projet champ septique Longe, request for financing for building maintenance. Colonne Falls Septic Field Project Resolution, Terry Lafleur.
Oui, demande de financement pour entretien de bâtiment, projet champ septique Chute-Blanche. So talking about maintenance and upkeep, we own the main building, I guess the entrance, at the entrance of the Chute-Blanche. And their septic is pretty well shot, or was pretty well shot. And we have a lease with them, I believe it's until 20, let me see here. December 31st, 2044, so it's a long time. So we need to maintain, as the owner of that building, we need to maintain the septic, so. We ensure maintenance on the buildings. The Chute-Blanche is one of our main tourist attractions. So the total cost of the project is $58,987, including taxes. So we need a resolution. So resolve to pay $55,000. The budget we've got set is $55,511 from our FR2 2025-2026 budget. And Be it further resolved that a project start date is May 22nd, 2025, and that the work must be completed no later than March 31st, 2027. And as well to allow me to sign authorization to.
Donald Daniel, Counselor.
Is that right, Jim?
Oh, sorry, hold on.
I don't know, but the date, May 22nd, probably 2026 should be everything.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is till 2044. Is this, lease the revenue to the MRT or is it?
No.
We renewed the lease, it was a 25-year lease, we just renewed it through auction.
Okay.
$50 a year or something like that, if I recall.
$25.
There you go.
So yes, we do make a record for that.
Any other questions? Moved by Donald Daniel. All those in favor? Opposed? Passed. Item 18.5, FRR, cadre d'intervention pour la vitalité du territoire 2025-2028, FFR Intervention Framework for Vitality of the Territory 2025 to 2028. Resolution, Terry Lafleur.
Yes. On this.
I'd like to recognize the hard work of the economic development team, especially for this, the preparation of this framework. It was presented to us in plenary and it took many meetings and Sabrina Ayers worked really hard on this. And I wanna just mention it publicly, that we're thankful. It's a super important document for our future funding with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs for the MRC Pontiac. And a lot of hard work and thought went into this, so thank you on my behalf to the team and to Sabrina. And thank you to the mayors who also contributed to it and helped finalize it for the document we have to present here tonight.
Thank you.
That will be available on our
It
website.
will certainly be available on our website. So right now we have, I think you guys saw the English version of it prior to, we did. Oh, maybe you did see the English version of it, it was a French version, but it wasn't all prettied up like it is here. You will get an English version. I do have the French version here as well, which will be posted on our website. So this document in essence, so as required by MAMAT, agreed to upon signing of the FRR2, FRR3 financial agreement that we signed this past September. 2025, the MRC must develop and implement an intervention framework for the vitality of its territory. So we've discussed this on numerous occasions. It has taken us, well, since I want to say September of last year when we signed the document to get this in its current shape that everybody agreed on, as well, just so that you know, it can be updated annually. So what this does, basically, it sets the framework for how we spend the money to that we receive from the MAMASH in terms of FRR2 structural and FRR3 vitalization components. Okay, so it sets out the framework, what our prioritizations are, where we would like to see municipalities working with other municipalities or not-for-profits or whatnot. So that's what this document is here. It details those priorities. It details a sort of the expectations that we set for ourselves from those priorities as well. It details the outcomes and allows us to go back and say, how did this work? How did that work? You know, where we set a bar for ourselves, did we attain that bar? So that's what goes into this. And as Kim mentioned, the entirety of our economic development team spent months working on their portions because it covers, so FRR2 municipalities, not-for-profits. It covers our PSE and our PSPS, which is part of our small to medium business loans and bursaries. It covers vitalization for municipalities to work together with each other, with OBNLs and all that fun stuff. So this is the culmination of all this work. And yes, so in here, we have to designate a vitalization person, coordinator. So it is Sabrina. We designated it as the coordinator of economic development, social economic development. So just to put a title to it. So we need a resolution, basically, that adopted this entire document, that you guys have reviewed.
Okay, then moved by Councillor Beranger. All those in favor? Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 18.6, FRR lancement d'appel à projet 2026, FRR launch of 2026 call for projects, resolution, Terry Lafleur.
So now that we've adopted that policy, that the work of a policy, we are opening our first call for projects. So what you need to know, and it will be sent to each of your municipalities. Are the framework documents. Okay, so this has been adopted. So this is a single call for both municipalities and not-for-profit organizations, tagging both FRR2 and FRR3. Okay, the launch is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026 at noon. So that's when it opens. It closes Thursday, April 30th, 2026 at noon. The analysis committee will meet between May 4th and May 8th. The results will be presented to the council at the plenary in May, and contracts signed and first deposits distributed to the successful grantees in June. So there is a guide available. We only have it in French at the moment, but it is here and it reviews exactly who can apply, what you can apply for, how to apply. And if you want to call somebody, call a member of our team and we will walk you through it and help you make your application as well. So this is the first call for projects for us. So we need a resolution.
Would like to do the resolution,
Sorry, just a question. Yeah, sorry. No, I'm just wondering when the English guide would be available?
It might be available.
Sure, right.
This opens on the
Right.
25th.
Right.
It'll be available before then.
Okay, thank you.
What's the envelope? The envelope for FR2 is 200,000, I believe. And the FR3 is 500. So that's the total envelope, depending on what we get for submissions. Okay, we'll see what happens.
Over the course of the year 2028?
No, this is from this call for projects for, yeah, so this is the one that you want to get in on right away. Okay.
Would like to move this resolution for the MRC to officially authorize the launch of the 2026 call for structuring project. Councillor Colin Graham, all those in favor? Opposed? Oh,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Under security civils, public safety, 19.1, programme fédéral de l'achat des armes à feu, federal firearms buyback program, resolution, Julien Gagnon.
Bonjour, cette résolution vise à exprimer l'opposition du Conseil régional de la MRC au programme fédéral de rachat des armes à feu. So this resolution is as adopted in other municipalities, Vallée-de-la-Gatineau, also some municipalities of the MRC, Shaw, Fort Collonges, to name a few. This resolution is intended to express the MRC Regional Council's opposition to the federal assault-style firearms buyback program, which is open to individual owners in January. It argues that the approach mainly targets law-abiding citizens without having sufficiently direct effect on real crime, and it doesn't equally reflect the realities of the rural regions. Through this resolution, the MRC is asking the federal government to end the program, and if that does not happen, asking the Sûreté du Québec not to enforce it. It also states that public safety priorities should instead focus on illegal firearms trafficking, organized crime, smuggling, and actual gun violence. In contrast to the resolutions adopted in those municipalities, the MRC adds the following clause: that public funds allocated to this program would be better directed towards mental health, violence prevention, crisis intervention, addiction services, and community support. The resolution reaffirms the MRC's support for law-abiding citizens, hunters, farmers, rural communities, and legitimate firearm users. The federal compensation program was open to individual owners in January, with a declaration period running till March 31st. And current federal amnesty runs until October 30th of this year. Resolution.
Can I make some comments? Am I allowed? Otter Lake voted against this, or against the resolution. The rationale behind it, if you look at the details, get in the details of the guns that are on there. You got machine guns on there. You got launchers for missiles, grenades, rockets. You've got anti-tank guns, and you got the, what they call the assault style weapons, which are more than 10 rounds. So it's not like your typical, I'm a hunter. I have my guns. I checked all the guns that I'm familiar with, like the Remingtons, the Winchesters, whatever. They're not on that list. It's the, what they call the tactical guns, which have 10 or more rounds of ammunition, up to 100 rounds of ammunition. These guns have been used in massacres in Canada and the US, including Nova Scotia in 2020. They're not what I would call hunting guns. Okay, I know it's in the resolution. I've seen the other resolutions. Unless you use grenades for hunting, use machine guns for hunting, use, whatever. It doesn't, you get into details. I looked at a couple hundred guns in there. Quite a few of them I came across are not allowed in the States. They're banned actually in several of the states. So from an Otter Lake perspective, we said it's really not in the public interest to have these guns on the street. And so where we would like to see the effort being made actually is take this list. I know there's got to be some guns on there that I didn't see, which might be a hunting type of gun. And that's where the lobby should be done, is to minimize or look at updating the list, taking note, because a lot of these guns I just went through, it's hard to rationalize why people would need those. You can keep them for collection purposes if you permanently deactivate them. So if somebody's a gun collector, they can keep them. You just have to permanently deactivate them. So that's where Otter Lake came from, in their interest of public safety. We did not want a Nova Scotia type, but a gun that was on this list that we've said it was okay for people to have it.
The people that have those, they're not like they're going to turn them in. Let's vote.
The only difference between a hunting gun and those guns is those guns look like they're military. That's it. They're both kidding.
Okay, any other comments? I'll make the resolution. Okay, so moved by Councillor Terry. All those in favor? Opposed? Two opposed. Three.
Don't know enough about it.
Pass. Okay, item 20 under miscellaneous, nothing. 21, nobody here in public for question period, second question period. Like to have time move to close the meeting. Councillor Donald O'Donnell, all those in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.